It's not easy being an athlete and competing at some of the highest levels. Sometimes it feels like your sport is taking over your life, and at other times it can become too much and the overbearing stress and exhaustion can catch up to you in the form of burnout.
So burnout is a feeling of disengagement from what you're doing. So in this case, with regards to student athletes, it would be them feeling disengaged from their sport, maybe not wanting to practice.
Psychology professor Ignagne and field hockey player Aaron Burgess teamed up to research burnout among student athletes on campus here at Sacred Heart.
Even not within the schools in general, we see it a lot now in the media too with athletes. I know last semester and last year was really big for athletic, especially collegiate athletics burnout, which is really unfortunate. I think it definitely is an issue that needs to be a little more focused on.
Burnout can affect athletes of any age, sport, or gender. Senior basketball player Carly Strommel admits to feeling symptoms of burnout throughout her basketball career.
You're playing every day, you have practice every day, you have lift every day, and if it's not that, it's a game, or you're watching film, and it's a constant cycle of your sport. So sometimes you just feel tired, you feel a little bit over your sport, and sometimes you feel like your stresses are coming from that sport, which is something that you really love. So it's hard to really balance the love that you have for your sport when that's something that's generating a lot of stress for you as well.
Some of the team's findings so far have shown the effects of burnout being more prevalent in female athletes than males, and the gender of the coach has an effect as well.
We've been looking at the effects of social support and coaching support on the well-being and burnout rate of athletes, and more specifically how gender and female athletes are impacted by this.
Some of the preliminary findings include that burnout does seem to be affecting women more than men. So the female student athletes who have male coaches are feeling more burnout than female athletes with female coaches. They're also feeling more physical, emotional exhaustion and less support.
Research has proven that coaches have an effect on burnout and their athletes' mental health in either a positive or negative way.
Obviously, this is their job, this is their livelihood, so they want their team to be winning and they want their team to succeed. But at the end of the day, a coach needs to realize when athletes might be struggling or when they might be experiencing things like burnout. And I think some coaches are really, really, really helpful in that way and are able to really balance with their athletes and give them a mental health day if they need it.
The research is not complete yet, and the pair are hoping to find more results from their analysis to one day use to make changes within the Sacred Heart community.
Probably are going to run some more analysis after our conference before the academic festival and before we do any more things with potential treatments or anything. So maybe and hopefully we'll find some other findings in the future.
The more that people talk about it, the more it's discussed, the more light it's going to be brought to it. There's a lot of student athletes that struggle with their mental health, with burnout, and at the end of the day, the only way that we really deal with it as a community is if we deal with it together.
Ignagne and Burgess will present their preliminary findings at a psychology conference in Boston this March. Hopefully, this research can open doors to treatments for these burnt-out college athletes after discovering more about what causes these symptoms. For The Pulse, this is Peto, Fairfield, Connecticut.